Hi guys, this is Kayla.
And this is Becky, and we're with A Couple of Bees Read.
Yes, and we also like our weekly wine. What is our weekly wine, Becky?
Well, Gallivant, which we
Anything
love.
from Gallivant is wonderful.
It is wonderful. And I'm not sure, I don't think we've tried their Sauvignon Blanc yet. I know we've tried their Chardonnay and their Rosé and their many others, but I don't think we've tried the Sauvignon Blanc.
I know we've had like the rosé.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay, lemon.
Definitely good.
Definitely lemon.
Yes.
Is there a little pear?
Pineapple and guava.
I was gonna guess pineapple because it's got a little more citrus than just the lemon. Guava, I never would. I don't even know what guava tastes like. I would never have guessed that.
No, it also has notes of certain herbs and vanilla. Vanilla is that aftertaste. Yeah, that's it. And it pairs well, of course, with any kind of salad or fish, pasta.
Imagine it go well with pork.
Oh, and you
think?
And your hubby cooking on his new grill tonight.
My husband's got a new grill. He's over there making us pork chops.
That's right. So hey, we may have some
wine pairing. Yeah.
That's right. Good job. That would be great. So, Gallivant means roaming for the pleasure of travel, and so they named their winery that way. It says you can walk through life aimlessly, or you can gallivant joyfully. The choice is yours. I think I'll be joyful.
Yeah. It's great wine, and I can remember when we first started doing this, when you first started doing wine with Scout and Cellar, the one wine that I was like, I really don't want Sauvignon Blanc, because I had some before that was like cheap grocery store Sauvignon. I probably paid $5 for that bottle, and I tried to drink it, and it tasted like, what did I call it?
Alcohol or something.
No, I mean it is alcohol.
Well, it's rubbing alcohol.
It tasted like nail polish.
Yeah.
It had a nail polish smell and taste, and I thought I would never enjoy Sauvignon Blanc, but
I'm the same.
Now with Scout and Cellar,
I am the same. It was my least favorite wine, and now I really like it.
Especially on a summer day when you have like some light food.
Yes, it's very kind of earthy and crisp. Has fresh flavor.
All right.
So now what are we reviewing?
House of Glass by Sarah Pekkanen, and it took me way too long to read this book. This book, any other time when I'm not in the middle of writing, I would have finished it in like 2 days, because the story is really propulsive. The characters are very interesting. They have their quirks, they have their flaws, but you're still going to root for them. And that's one thing I will brag on Sarah Pekkanen. I think it's, for years, every thriller writer tried to write the next Gone Girl, where nobody is likable. And don't get me wrong, Gone Girl is incredibly well written. I'm not coming after that, but when you have a copycat, maybe the character, no matter, you can't really root for that character because she is so unlikable. Does that make sense? Sarah Pekkanen created a character who has flaws in the main character of Stella. She's a flawed character. She has a bad past. She actually found her mother's dead body as a child. Oh. So very coming from so much trauma. And during that time, right after she found her mom's body, she had mutism. Basically, it is a very rare condition where it happens mostly in children, where a traumatic event happens and the child becomes mute due to the event. Their throat, they feel like the ones who've come out of it and survived it and dealt with their trauma. And Stella in this book would feel like her throat was closing up anytime she tried to speak. And of course, Stella's a character who's my age, so in her 30s. And during, when I was growing up, there was a lot that still wasn't understood, especially about childhood mental illness. So she actually, because she was so, mute as a child for so long, was abused a bit because they were like, oh, I'm just going to beat her and that'll make her talk, sort of situation with the family that was
Make it worse.
left over to raise her. So she has a lot of trauma connected to that. She ended up going to like grief camp and therapy. And fortunately, later in life, because the aunt and uncle she was sent to live with really didn't like her very much, like they felt burdened with a child. Later in life, she meets a lawyer who they end up having more of a connection later. But this lawyer named Charles, she's about to graduate high school, and he meets her in a cafe. She does something kind, and he offers to let her work for him. And that is how we get the grown Stella in the book, who now works for the court system. And what will happen is if they have a child in a divorce custody case, this is a sticky situation, she goes in and investigates, and the judge will determine based on her write-up who the child should go with.
Oh, wow.
So her friend Charles, who is also a judge at this point, like he was a lawyer when he met her, he's become a judge, calls her up and he's like, I'm doing this divorce case. I know you've heard of it, but I need you in on it. And what had happened is a young girl, Rose Barkley, her wealthy family, their nanny died. She fell from a 3rd-story window. Little girl witnessed it. And now that little girl has the same mutism that Stella had to deal with. And that's why the judge calls and like, you're the only person who can do this.
Oh, wow, yeah.
The twist is, and this is an early twist, once she gets to know this rich and strange little girl, she starts to suspect that the little girl pushed her own nanny out of the window.
Oh.
Like, this little girl does stuff like collecting pieces of glass or sharp objects to hide in her room.
Wow.
Her parents, comes to find out, they kind of suspect the little girl. They're replacing every window and fixture in the house with plastic, every glass thing with plastic, so that she can't get weapons.
Wow.
So, but it's also, one of those weird situations. There's a mom and a dad and a grandma. And it gets to the point in the book where Stella's like, I don't know which of them did it, but I don't think that nanny fell out that window. So it is propulsive. It is such a good book in the way it concludes and the way it wraps everything up. And then the way it throws you off the trail so many times.
Wow.
Like, it is an incredibly well-written mystery. I enjoyed it. And I really hope you guys give it a shot.
Sounds great. Thanks.
Until next time. Bye, guys.